is it seven-time Emmy winner, 7 Emmys, Oscar winner, one of the most respected, most popular actors on the planet, Allison Janney.
And most punctual.
Most punctual, actually
Yes.
early. Actually early. Hey, I want to talk about Lou, which
Yes.
is your movie that is going to be on Netflix on Friday. There's so much. All I'm going to say about it is this. I think that Taken is really a perfect action movie. I never thought it could be made better. But you can make a version of that, but starring Allison Janney.
Yes, kick it up a notch.
Oh my God! We have so much to talk about there. But Allison, as Julia and I were saying before we started, our tradition when we start the show every day is to say, "What did you do last night?" So, Allison Janney, what did you do last night?
Okay. Well, it was kind of a frustrating night of technology for me because I was trying to watch a movie that I did, not the Lou movie. I was trying to watch a movie called To Leslie that I did with Michael Morris, starring Andrea Riseborough. That is going to be available on video on demand on October 7th of this year.
Oh wow!
The brilliant. I mean, I knew the script was amazing, and the movie has gotten a lot of great reviews. And I was trying to watch it, and my thing kept glitching, or whatever you call it. I couldn't watch it, so I was so frustrated. And then I tried to watch another movie that I did. They sent me a link for, which was The People We Hate at the Wedding, and I couldn't get that one to start either. And so then I just gave up, and I ate chocolate chip cookies, and I tried to deal with my new puppy, who was chewing the hell out of my flesh. Literally no toy. He won't. The best thing he wants is to sink his teeth into my fleshy arms.
Yeah,
Wow,
I know. Puppies are worse than babies because number one, no diaper, and they have teeth.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. Do you know?
You've got to get one of those like hawk training gloves. So
Julia, you are. I mean, I'm a step away from doing that. My hands are covered in bite marks and scratch marks. It's no joke. I feel like, what was I thinking? Puppies are the worst. I mean, he's sleeping now, so he's adorable. But it's a lot. So I couldn't remember what I did because I wanted to forget the experience I had.
the
Oh God, I
abuse
hope you get to
took.
watch the movie. I didn't realize that it came out October 7th. That's great. It has gotten great reviews.
Yeah, Lou comes out this Friday, but To Leslie comes out October 7th, and I'm proud of that movie because it's about people who fall into addiction and those who, some are lucky enough to get out of it, and just watching someone struggle and come to, has a positive end. But it's a beautiful movie, and so I hope you'll see that too. I know we weren't planning on talking about that, but I'm happy.
Well, no, I'm glad it's coming. Well, you'll have to come back on October 6th or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
But
So,
Lou comes out Friday.
Yes, Lou comes out this Friday on Netflix. We're going to get to... So, as far as Julia Cunningham, she watched The Bachelorette last night because she recaps it for me so I don't have to watch it.
That's still on?
I know,
Oh, my
Allison, I was
God.
going to say, I'm not proud, letting you know that, but I do hold, a PhD in the franchise of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and
It's true.
Bachelor in Paradise. I'm not proud of it, but look, some of us have to carry that torch. So.
Okay, so what happened? Who got a role?
Well, it was very dramatic. A young woman named Rachel ended up engaged. Series ends, they're engaged. And within those 2 months as their filming ends and the show starts airing, the relationship, of course, implodes, and he immediately cheated on her and made out with some random in a bar. So then the whole fallout takes place on camera because, they're too smart now. They're like, oh, you guys are going to break up? Well, we'll have a camera there. So then we can see as he's bumbling through, quote, a journal where he wrote his feelings and he flips to page 2 of his journal, to start going through his emotions of why he ended up making out with a random in a bar in Santa Clarita, California. So
Was it the shots of tequila that put him over the... what is it?
he claims it was his own, ego and feeling like their relationship was deteriorating and tried to pull the classic Friends. I thought we were on a break.
Oh boy.
So really, Allison, I'm doing the Lord's work, letting people know what happened.
I like that Allison Janney is like now into this. Lots of
Honestly.
questions about it.
Well, I don't have, I fell into the Housewives thing, which I never thought I would do.
Oh.
And now I can't stop watching the Beverly Hills Housewives, and I've tried to get into the other franchises, but I'm sticking to the Beverly Hills. But
It's
never
a slippery slope, I will tell you. But if you want to jump in, I will tell you the best is Paradise, where basically all of the rejects who don't win the Bachelor end up on an island together, and there's no stakes. Like literally, you don't even win money. It's just like go and make out on a beach, and it's honestly perfect. So
There's people
I say
with
jump
nothing
in.
to lose,
Yeah.
and they're abnormally horny.
Yeah.
It's just the greatest show
Yeah.
in the world.
I think I need
You'll
to
love
go
it.
to the island.
So we also have Nicholas Sparks on the show today, legendary best-selling novelist. So I read a Nicholas Sparks book last night. That's
Right.
his new book called Dreamland. So anyway, Allison, last couple of nights ago, because I just couldn't wait, I watched Lou. Comes out on
Same.
Netflix
Yeah.
on this Friday, and I want to tell you, it's a thrill ride. It's so much fun because it's Allison Janney just kicking ass. Would you tell us who Lou is and what situation? There's obviously a lot of twists and turns. There's one major twist we don't want to give away, but I'll let
don't
you
wanna
sort of
give
say
Too
what.
much, but I play this sort of mysterious, enigmatic, grumpy woman.
She
who's
is grumpy.
not, she doesn't like to do chit chat. Everyone in town, stays clear of her. It's Lou. She doesn't just get out or stay out of her way, and that's the way she likes it. And she's renting her trailer on her property to a single mother, played by Journey Smollett, and her daughter, played by Ridley Asha Bateman. And you think the movie's going one way, and you see Lou is a woman who you find out, as much as I can tell you without spoiling things, is that she's a woman who's spent her life in service to her country. And I think the things that she had to do, let's just say, didn't make the world a safer place as she thought they would have. And so there's a lot of regret and shame, and so she's loaded up with that. And then this incredible storm. The storm is a character in this movie. It's a huge mother of a storm that hits this island. We're kind of in the San Juan Islands. And at the same time, the Journey's character, her daughter, is kidnapped, disappears. And we, two women who don't have much respect for each other or like each other very much, have to go off and find this child in the middle of a storm at night, which is it's everything. As an actor at my age, I should have gone, no, I can't. I can't.
But also, they're like huge men trying to take you down the whole time.
Oh yeah, and
she can fight, Lou.
That's what excited me about doing this, Jess, because I've always wanted to enter the realm of action thriller, the action thriller genre. I've never really been able to. And this script came from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, and was sent to me, and I was excited at the possibility of learning how to fight hand-to-hand combat and do, shoot guns and do things that I've never gotten to do before. So I had a blast. It's the first time I've trained for something before I started shooting it. I worked out with this fight choreographer, Daniel Bernhardt, at, I'm not going to say it right, 8711. It's this place down by the LAX where everyone trains, like all the John Wick. Everyone trains down there.
Oh wow!
Right.
While you were there, who else was there? Like Keanu Reeves honing his skills. Like who
It's very
was there?
private. They only let one move. Like when you're training there, no one else is there. It's a very
okay.
One movie star at a time.
place wasn't big enough for anyone but me in there. But I worked out like 3 hours a day.
Wow.
What is that? I told you, I was like, I don't work out, more than 2 hours a week. I don't understand how I'm going to do this. But it was, I absolutely loved it. It was just like learning a dance, because a dancer, and I've always been very physical. I love physical comedy, and this was a different kind of physicality that was about survival. Yes, hurting other people, but so you can survive.
And what prepared were you? Because I would, if I were in that situation, I would go in and I'd try to do one training session, and they'd be like, "You have no flexibility. Get out." I'd be fired from the movie. But because of dance? I mean, are you very flexible? Do you stretch? Do you do all of that stuff sort of normally? Is that why you were able to jump into this?
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I was working out. Like I go in and out of working out. I'm like anyone else. I get bored with it and I stop. But I did grow up being very athletic. Played a lot of sports and was a figure skater, and I did ballroom dancing. So I've always been very physical. And this just required me to be a little more physical than I had been. And but I had that was like getting on a bike again, just using your body more than usual. Learning a new dance is what I call it. It was I really liked the journey with Daniel, learning these moves every day. We'd stretch for half an hour before we started. When we'd box, or we'd do these repetitive movements that were required for the fight sequences, and I loved it. And when we finally filmed them, it was the most prepared I've ever felt for anything I've filmed before, because we rehearsed so much. And I really, and when you're acting for film, you don't really get that much rehearsal. Maybe a couple of passes at it and talk about it, but it's more fluid and you don't know where it's going to go. But with the fighting, it's very, very precise, and you have to know exactly where the next move's coming from, or you can get hurt, or you can hurt somebody else. So it required a lot of different muscle memory. Yeah.
Well, and I love that the opening scene, when we first see Lou, she's killing, gutting, and just dragging a dead deer. It's like perfect way to be like, oh, yep, that's who that character is.
It does kind of say a lot. I forgot about that. That's the first introduction to her, killing the deer and dragging the deer out. And then this dog had a great co-star of this dog named Jersey. His real name is Jersey, but he plays Jax in the movie. I mean, that dog was just ridiculously talented and hit his mark a lot more times than I hit mine, I'll tell you. Beautiful animal that so, the stuff that there were so many challenges physically, mentally, and environmentally, because we're in this storm. So there are huge water towers that would shoot off before every take, and wind machines, so we could barely hear each other to act. And it was I spent most of the time wet, completely drenched, which sometimes alleviated the need to go to the bathroom. So you usually go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no one's going to know.
You're going to just pee your pants, just whatever.
I do. It didn't matter. It was like, I'm wet. I'm just,
Oscar winner peeing pants on set.
I was not alone. We all.
There was one of your friends is Tate Taylor, who directed The Help, and he's a big guy. And there's a scene in this when Lou first starts out on this journey, she ends up there's this like big guy. It's probably the first guy whose head she tears off. He looks exactly like Tate Taylor.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I thought maybe. Oh my gosh, how great that Tate did this little role.
That's so funny. That's actually Daniel, the fight choreographer, Daniel Bernhardt, who I ripped apart, which was great because we were the two that spent so much time rehearsing together, and I was sort of grateful they cast him because he really knew what he was doing. He did the fight sequences for. Did you see Bob Odenkirk's movie, The Nobody?
Oh yeah,
that was really fun. He did those fights, so he came with. I was very excited to get to work with him, and I can't wait. I kind of want to do another one. I'm into it. I'm into the physicality of it. I'm into doing those fights. One of my favorite fight sequences of all time is from Kill Bill. I think it's Kill Bill 2 or with Uma Thurman and Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
That fight, oh my God. I think I might just have aged myself out of doing that extreme fight, but I'm up for it. I don't know.
I don't want to give anything away, but I feel like a sequel could be a possibility, or a prequel or something like that. Like, I feel like there may be more life in Lou after this movie, and you'd be up for that, right?
I totally would be up for it. We'll see how it goes. I hope everyone enjoys it, and we get good feedback for it. I would love to. I'd love to explore the other sides of Lou. She's got to speak tons of other languages, and she was in the field, as they say. I shouldn't say. I never know how much I should say, so I don't want to spoil it. People just need. There's so many different twists and turns.
She was a spy. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Super spy.
Super
Yeah.
spy.
Like, no stuff like how to light a fire with like a cotton ball and like a gum wrapper, like that kind of survivalist.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this for real? Is this?
I wanted to Google that. I was like, can you do that? That's crazy.
It really does work. I did try it out. What other cool things did you know I had to do, at one point I had my face planted in the mud, with and Anna Forrester, our director, who's a badass herself. She's just the best. She wanted all these worms squirming next to my face in the mud, and I was like, really? Okay, all right. And she put them down there, and I have to be planted, and then Journey has to pull me up, and they wanted to make sure they got the worms squirming, so sometimes I would be in the mud a little longer than I wanted to be. And then I found out that we had a worm wrangler. Every single worm had to be accounted for after each take. So there were maybe 25 worms or something, and after every take, the woman had to count to make sure that no worm got hurt during the filming of Lou.
Wow.
Well, what about you with your face buried in the mud?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know anymore. It was about the worms.
And they're like shoving Alice and Janney out of the way to get to those worms.
She's fine. Are the worms okay? Don't worry about Janney. She can handle it herself. And I was so glad I was game to do all that stuff. And Journey too. She was a monster. The both of us just braving the elements and just throwing ourselves into the mud. And there's something wonderfully freeing about not having any vanity associated with your role. The dirtier and muddier. It was just it was fun not have to worry about your eyeshadow smudging or anything like that. It was just the dirtier and muckier. It was just freeing in some way. I loved it.
You're listening to the Jess Cagle Show with Julia Cunningham. Starting out the show today with Oscar winner, 7-time Emmy winner, Allison Janney, who is in this action movie called Lou. Really the first time, at least as a lead in an action thriller. And I mean, she is face in the mud, slicing people's necks with a can. She is. It's unbelievable. It's so good, Lou. It's going to be on Netflix on Friday, and it's just so fun. And I'm hoping there are more. I hope there are more Lou movies. I really do. In the meantime, Allison, I asked Sarah and Molly here to pull a little audio that I wanted to listen to with you.
Okay.
And the Oscar goes to Allison Janney.
This is the first Oscar and nomination for Allison Janney.
I did it all by myself.
Best Oscar acceptance speech ever.
That is Nick Bakay, my friend Nick Bakay, who wrote on Mom with me, and we also we went to college together. We went to Kenyon College in Ohio. He gave me that line. I whenever I have to write a potential speech, for anything, I ask so many people for help because I don't consider myself a really good writer. It makes me nervous, and I want to be funny and try all the things you want to be if you get so lucky as to win an award, and have to say a speech. And Nick Bakay gave me that line, and I was like, do I do it? Should I do it? It made me so excited and nervous to think about saying it. And then when I got up there, I just thought, yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And had I gotten off at that point, I would have won the jet ski or whatever. I think they were offering a prize to anyone who had the shortest acceptance speech.
Oh.
That year they did. So it would have been me, but I needed to.
Yeah, Claire, you made a classic Oscar moment, and a great red dress. I went back and I watched that red dress was fantastic.
That was really fun. That just gave me chills listening to that. Oh my God, yeah, that was a moment. That was a moment I like to think about every now and then.
Well, Jess and I watched Who Do You Think You Are, which you were part of. With, Dan Bukatinsky and, Lisa Kudrow. And it was fascinating because I think they followed your, it was like the line of your grandmother, Sippy.
My mother's mother, yeah.
Your mother's mother, who went all the way back, 11 generations to England or something like that, like pre-Mayflower. And I believe your family was like wrecked in Bermuda, and there was even like some light cannibalism happening, like around the family in Bermuda. I mean, like wild stuff taking place.
Stephen Hopkins was my relative, 13 times, whatever they say. I couldn't even wrap my head around how many near deaths he survived in order for me to be here. It kind of blows your mind, but yeah, he was on a ship that crashed in it was a big shipwreck that famously was Shakespeare wrote about in The Tempest. So he was part of that shipwreck, and they landed in Bermuda and were shipwrecked there, and he survived he was supposed to be executed because he suggested that they have their own rules, being in nature, that they were no longer under British rule. They had to think of their own rules for their newfound society and whatever on Bermuda, and then they build a ship somehow, and they get to Jamestown and just miss the starving period there, where everyone I'm not a historian, but Jamestown was a pretty harrowing thing to have.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And then to go back to London and England, and then come back on the Mayflower and have a child named Oceanus who died on the Mayflower, and then it's great. It's just crazy how many crossings of the Atlantic he did, and survived. And what have I done? Well, I won an Oscar, and no, I didn't have any kids, but I have dogs, if that counts.
A new puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that puppy still asleep? Are we safe?
No, I think my other dogs just came back from their walk, so you'll get to hear him bark. It's really, truly a pleasure.
Allison, where did you go to Kenyon? Is that where you went to school? Kenyon College?
Yeah, Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio.
And then what happened after? I want to know, like, when you were starting out, what were the jobs that you did to sort of make ends meet before you started making a living?
Well, my first job was working I got a job on The Guiding Light. You remember that soap opera?
Oh, sure.
Guiding Light. Here's Henry.
Oh my gosh, there's that pop.
God. The Guiding Light was my first paying job, and I was so thrilled to be a part of that. I played a maid in the Spalding household, and I had a really bad Brooklyn accent. And I had As the World Turns. I think I had a small role on that. Then I didn't get my first Broadway show till I was 38, I think, in Present Laughter on the Broadway, as I call it, with Frank Langella. But then right after that, I think Stanley Tucci cast me in Big Night. Movie, I love that movie. So, and Alan Ball put me in American Beauty. All these great roles I started to get in the film because of my relationships with people in the theater. everything, all roads lead to the theater in my career.
And wow, so you never had to you were never selling shoes or waiting tables?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I scooped ice cream on Spring Street at Dimitri's Cafe. Used to
Oh,
be
wow.
there. I scooped ice cream and wasn't very good at it. I remember serving a table full of people. They had all different sundaes with 2 different flavors of ice cream, and I put them all together and forgot which was which. I just sort of put them down and I said, I don't know, you guys figure it out. Didn't get a very good tip. I was not a great waitress. I worked at a recording studio, a nighttime receptionist at a recording studio. I turned out I was probably pretty much a drug dealer without knowing about it. I'd receive, packages for some of the session players, like, this is for Mr. Da-da-da, this is for Mr. And I was like, oh, I'll make sure he gets it. And it's probably,
You're lucky you're not in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
An undercover sting.
Oh my God. So sorry. Okay. You guys, stop it, please.
Oh, there's
The
I
dogs
think
the
there
dogs
might
are going
be
wild.
I think there might be a dog fight. And Allison Janney, full of grace, may actually be Allison may be done with us right now.
Hey, Dutch. Oh my God. This is when you live alone. I don't have dog wranglers or worm wranglers, nothing here. Hey, please, everybody, I'm on a Zoom.
They don't care.
Everybody shut up. Take that.
It's okay. Allison, that's all the time that we have.
She's chasing after one of the dogs.
She's chasing after one of the dogs. Just almost ran into the backyard.
I am so, you guys, I have to, this guy's at the door.
It's
Yeah,
totally
we're-
fine. I was
wrapping
just
it
going to
up.
say
We're
goodbye.
wrapping it up.
Allison's gone. Okay, Lou is going to be on Netflix on Friday, starring Allison Janney, and it's an action thriller. And an action thriller with Allison Janney, I mean, I'm
It's
in.
perfect. Yeah.
And it's so much fun. Thank you, Allison Janney. If you can hear us from the far reaches of your house where you're chasing dogs, thank you so much for being in. Julia Cunningham and I will be back right after this.